For April 15th, 2026. If you need hearing devices, please come up to the front and see Ms. Swanson. She can help you out there. To avoid meeting disruption, please place your cell phones in the silent mode or turn them off during the meeting. All meetings are recorded. When addressing the council, please sign in, state your name, and speak clearly into the microphone. Line item 1.1, Pledge of Allegiance. I've asked Councilman Hannon to lead us in that. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. All right, thank you. Line item 1.2, roll call. Ward 1, Councilman Hannon is present. Ward 2, Councilwoman Zaberski is present. Ward 4, Councilman Torres is present. And Ward 5, Councilman Mendoza is present. Line item 1.3, public forum. This is portion of the meeting devoted to the public. The public may comment on any matter that is not specifically included on the agenda as an action item. Items not included on this agenda cannot be acted upon other than to place them on a future agenda. If you wish to comment, you can do so in person at the meeting or raise your hand featured in Zoom, *9 if you're participating via phone. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes. Please avoid repetition. The mayor may at his discretion hold comments until a second public forum at the end of the meeting. Public comments submitted prior to 4 p.m. the day of the meeting will be provided to City Council and added to the record, but will not be read during a live meeting. Any public input received after 4 p.m. the day of the meeting will be included in the record, but may not reach council members before action is taken. Is there any public input at this time?
Hi, Becky Hallett for the record. I'm here representing Fernley 4th of July. I wanted to let you guys know that all the applications for camping, vendors, and the parade are all online on our website, and you can go there and fill them out. If you're having trouble, call me and I will help you get one. We're also accepting, we're looking for nominations for the Grand Marshal. We're looking for someone that's a veteran that's tied to Fernley. Since it's a special year, we're trying to do a more patriotic Grand Marshal. And we're also selling raffle tickets. So the raffle tickets have 3 different prizes. There are a side of beef from Shining K Meats, a Blackstone, 28-inch Blackstone grill thingy, and some CCW classes and swag from Vetnet Arms. So if you would like to have some raffle tickets, get a hold of me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pipeline web, Ward 2 website, you can tell where I've been at. No cracks in the ceiling or in the buildings. Monday evening, everybody seemed to have survived the 4.2 or 3 or whatever, wherever you're located. I dropped to the floor immediately. I thought it was a quad coming up the street from the southeast. And my wife just sat there passively. Well, I was down on the next to the avenue. But anyway, everybody seems to be okay, and I'm glad to see that. Every time I get the copy of the Fernley Reporter, I like to read the articles. They seem to cover everything that happens at the city council. The editor, Mr. Para, in one of his paragraphs writes that the outcomes at these sessions, at the city council sessions, are both process and outcomes. And he said the process went pretty smoothly this last time, regardless of no decisions about outcomes. Well, I know what he was referring to, what's been happening in the last a month or two or whatever. But I'm going to digress from that part of it and go to the front page. Must be a pretty important article or subject. Council debates public safety needs. So it was a question of, are you going to give an outright gift to the fire department? Or are you going to somehow or another incorporate it as a line item issue? Ms. Zoberski was really, I think, on point when she said, and I'll quote again, she isn't concerned about what a line item in the budget to fund public safety might be called, as long as the city has one. So the ongoing discussion will have to be which one or what combination would there be? Now, in light of this recent earthquake, and I even recall some of the major railroad incidents across the United States, and we have a railroad in our vicinity. I think this is a priority item. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Tammy Dittman, Fernley resident. I come here hoping that proper decorum is used tonight and that it's kept pretty civil. Also, I was able to come up with a word that I haven't read in a long time. It's called folly. It's not F-O-L-L-Y. And I think the mayor's pond is kind of one of those follies. It doesn't fall into the right thing. But the city needs to work on what we need now, the roads and all this, before we start bringing other projects in. So thank you for letting me come up with that new word, old word, folly.
Have been a project, oh, there it goes. I've been a project manager for a long, 30, 40 years in doing installations of electrical generation. Big projects, 200, 300,000 megawatt units. I have a lot of experience with that and installing single units as far as gen sets, diesel gen sets. We've also installed gas turbines to do essentially the same function. I have a few questions about what's going on over at Victory. I noticed that they're putting in or wanting to install 23.9 megawatt generators at the system. And that it is going to be a problem in the long run. I mean, when you start talking about these units, they're approximately, 350 tons each. Okay, they generate almost 30,000 horsepower, 35. Okay, when you start putting 70 in that valley out there, back up against that mountain range, we live in a bowl. And you can hear the reflection of the noise. I mean, when the train goes by, in the mornings, you can hear the reflection after the train horn goes off the side of the mountain. Well, if you put that many reciprocating engines in one spot on that side of the highway, it's just going to reflect off the mountains and off to the sides. Okay, this is going to be a problem. Okay, and this is not the only one. They're wanting to put a data center here too that is in huge amount of electricity that's needed for those. I mean, what is it? Apple's already got 300 megawatts delegated. They want to put another 1,500 megawatts in there. You're starting to add up to like 100 of these machines. And every single place that's put them in to this date has gone back and had problems with the noise. And the problem we're going to have is we live in this bowl and it's going to reverberate. Okay. It's a known fact that when you start putting reciprocating engines in close proximity to each other, that they have a tendency to have a certain frequency, or harmonics. And when you put too many of them together, that harmonics can get amplified and it makes a huge problem. So if you go up like Barrack Mines over there, they've got like 6 generators installed. Everything's inside. There's attenuation put in. They put this in there for a reason. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening. I am elected Fernley City Councilman Stan Lau, Ward 3, 439 Appaloosa Way. I am not here today to speak to the agenda item where the council will attempt to stop the Attorney General from prosecuting it for violating Nevada's open meeting law. That is corrective action I have nothing to say about. I'm here to pay money back to the city. Since the council expelled me on March 4th, 2026, the city has paid me for being a city councilman. March, I guess I get paid, but April not. So it makes no sense for you to pay me after you fired me. So I am returning the April 3rd payment. I cannot explain these gratuitous payouts, but I am an honest statesman, so I now tender these payments back to the city that mispaid them. I, of course, reserve my right to collect them back if and when the court reinstates me as a councilman. Thank you.
Do we have any other public input at this time?
Evening, City Council, Honorable Mayor. I won't take up a whole lot of time, longtime resident, as you know. First off, I just want to say thank you to the Sheriff's Department.
Can you state your name? For the
Oh,
record,
I'm
please?
sorry. Don McGuinn for the record, longtime resident of Fernley. Again, I just want to state thank you for the Sheriff's Department. I've noticed some activity in school zones that have been proactive, and good to see the sheriff presence there. And I recently had a chance to interact with the Public Utilities Division the other day, and they were very prompt in coming out and take care of what needed to be done today and yesterday. And my third item is I'd just like to say, with school laying out in just a month and a half or so, and summer coming up close, and there's only so many council meetings and things like that before summer, that again, I'd like to reiterate that it'd be nice if the in-town park could an adult size, youth size swing set again. I see Washington County School District has kind of rescinded their ban on swing set and some playground equipment, because people thought people were going to get hurt. And so I would just like to see if maybe they can come up again, maybe mention it to the Parks Department, review it, see if we got anything like that. And anyway, that's my say. Thank you.
Do we have any other public input? Is there anybody on Zoom? Nobody on the phone? Okay. We'll now move on to line item 1.4, looking for approval of the agenda. Councilman Hannon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Councilman Hannon, seconded by Councilwoman Zaberski. Please vote. Did the motion carry 4-0? I don't know it. Okay, motion carries 4-0. Line item 2, consent agenda, looking for a motion on the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilwoman Zaberski, seconded by Councilman Hannon. Please vote. Motion carries 4-0. We'll now move on to line item 3, reports. This item is for various public entity representatives to provide general information to the council and public. No action will be taken. Chief Deputy Branningham.
Chief Deputy Mitch Branningham, Lyon County Sheriff's Office. Good evening, Council. Mr. Mayor, thank you for having me this evening. I wanted to start this evening by taking a moment to recognize the passing of Sheriff Hickox over in Churchill County. Know a lot of our citizens interact over in Fallon, and he was a really strong partner of ours. The Churchill County Sheriff's Office supported us through numerous investigations, but one of the most notable is the Naomi Arian case. They were integral in that investigation, and my personal experience during that, when we got over to Churchill County and we're serving search warrants and doing a bunch of work over there, Sheriff Hickox was on the ground with us. He made sure that our people were all taken care of and we had all the resources we needed. And we're sad to hear about his passing, and we're certainly hoping that we can reestablish a good relationship with the next sheriff over in Churchill County. But his service is going to be on May 2nd over at the fairgrounds there off of Sheckler. And we're looking forward to going over and paying respects to him and seeing him off. So I just want to take a minute and recognize that somebody not in our county, but that does have a lot of impact on us here. The other things I have are a little bit lighter note. We have a whole bunch of events coming up starting this Friday. In Carson City, we have the Cat 3 post-graduation. We have 2 deputies graduating with their post 3 certificates over there on Friday. On April 18th, Saturday at 5 p.m. down Mason Valley, our search and rescue unit is holding their bingo night. The search and rescue bingo is a fundraiser they conduct to raise money for a lot of different operations, but mainly for life vests for kids that they provide out at Lake Lahontan to make sure that all the kids are taken care of and try and prevent any drowning incidents or things like that at the lake. On April 25th in Reno at the Grand Sierra Resort is the Evening in Blue. If you're not familiar with Evening in Blue, it's hosted by Northern Nevada Cops, Concerns of Police Survivors, and it is a fundraiser put on for law enforcement families who lost a family member in the line of duty in the Northern Nevada, Northern California area. It's a great event. It is a ticketed event, so people have to buy tickets if they would like to go, but they always have good speakers and things like that going on there. On April 30th is the Peace Officer Memorial in Carson City. That's at 1 p.m. right there at the Capitol grounds. It is a pretty nice event. It's pretty somber normally, but they're out of room on the memorial this year. And so they're looking to raise money to expand the memorial so that they can honor the officers lost. But it was just told today that we have an officer to add to the memorial, not from Lyon County, but from down south, and they're going to have to do a temporary addition there. So if people would like to donate, they can go on to the Nevada Peace Officer Memorial, and they can donate on the website or there in Carson City, so we get that memorial expanded and we can actually honor these guys that made the ultimate sacrifice for us. On Friday, May 1st is the Hoff Memorial in Reno. If people haven't been to the Hoff Memorial, it's very, very impactful. It's a pretty nice event. If people are familiar with the Carson City event, a lot of times there's not a ton of seating and things like that there, but the Hoff Memorial's pretty shaded, has some nice seats. So if people would like to come up and pay respects there, that one's at 10 a.m. at Idlewild Park. And then the last thing that I had is we're coming into summer right now. We are making arrangements with our school resource officers, and they're going to be rotating back to the patrol side as soon as school's out. So we will see a little bit of uptick in staffing here in the city over the course of the summer. That's all I have for you. I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
It looks like we have no questions at this time, so thank you.
Okay,
I
thanks.
have one real quick.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Councilman Mendoza.
Yeah, thanks for coming out. Are you guys able to share the link so that we get the right link? Because I know there's a lot of Memorial Cop scams out there for donations, so that donations could be properly made to the right location.
Yeah, absolutely. I will. I'll get with our social media people. We'll get it out on social media, and we'll share it over with you guys also.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you. North Lyon County, Chief Bunn.
Here, there we go. Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. Brian Bunn, North Lyon Fire Chief. Just for the record, I want to address the working group established under your resolution 26005. Council's direction was clear that North Lyon County Fire Protection District was to be included as a participant. Despite that, initial meetings moved forward without notification to us or inclusion to the district. I find that very concerning. As the primary emergency response agency serving the district, our involvement is not optional, particularly in discussions involving infrastructure, power, and systems that directly impact fire protection. I do appreciate that communication has since been initiated and steps are being taken to include us. However, it is important that council direction is followed as adopted, not after the fact. That's all I got tonight. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't see nobody from Lyon County School District or Acting City Manager Altick. Would you like to give your report now?
Good evening, everybody. Lydia Altick, Acting City Manager. Quick updates for you. The Community Response and Resource Center, we've done our final reconciliation and the city was able to save $1,056,000 off the guaranteed maximum price. So that even included the addition of the playground and the artificial turf. So way to go. We had a city representative, Coming Management help us. We had staff, everyone pulled together because we didn't have a city engineer at that time. So great job, everybody. And the Early Learning Center groundbreaking, that was yesterday. So the Boys and Girls Club have been given design and construction of the Early Learning Center by the Pennington Foundation. And they've received a building permit from the city and they're starting construction. Hope to be constructed by the fall. Update for the Nevada Pacific Parkway. We are at 60% construction documents. 90% should be completed by the first part of June. Next is the Fernley Senior Citizens Advisory Committee hosting a community planting day on this Saturday morning from 8 to 12 at the Fernley Desert Memorial Cemetery. And if that's not enough, following that is the second annual Fernley Business Expo right here at City Hall. Also on Saturday. 50 businesses have signed up So if you want to meet 50 local businesses, I highly suggest you come over and see what they're all about. I think there's a food truck slated to be on site as well. And the fun doesn't stop there. Argonne is hosting a bingo night Saturday from 5 to 9 at the Fernley Fernley Senior Center. And they'll be raising money to support local cats. There's going to be raffle prizes. Food will be available for purchase, including sloppy joes, hot dogs, and nachos. And in case you're not familiar, Argonne is the animal rescue group of Northern Nevada. One more fun item to talk about is the Boys and Girls Club Passport to Party. That's on April 25th, which is a Saturday. And that's going to be dining, music, raffle prizes, and an auction. And that's going to be at the Community Response and Resource Center. And all of that will fund the Boys and Girls Club. If you're not able to make it, you can still register for the auction. And if you need more information on that, you can find it at Truckee Meadows Boys and Girls Club, or you can contact me and I can get you the information needed to register by ticket. Tonight, we're going to have a few quick department updates, but I'm going to go ahead and do the building department because Charity is in Henderson learning about their code enforcement. Let's see, for March, 69 applications were submitted, and that was from everything from new single-family dwellings to new custom homes, family stock plans, and roofing. And 53 permits were issued for the same types of projects, but also including commercial structures and solar. For the code enforcement side of things, there were 97 complaints filed in March, 85 cases closed in March, 75 vehicles tagged, and 19 vehicles towed. Now I'm going to pass it on either to the mayor or the
Yeah.
departments.
Oh, yeah, no, we can pass it on to the departments. Go ahead, whoever you want to go next. Ms. Rambo, you have your light on, and then Mr. Williams has his on.
I'll go ahead and go.
Oh, okay.
Until Barry Williams, Public Works Director, for the record. Just wanted to report Public Works and Utilities crews have completed a full evaluation of all city infrastructure and utility systems following Monday's earthquake. And we're happy to report that no damage has been identified and all services remain fully operational, and we'll continue to monitor conditions and provide updates as needed. Second update, I just wanted to report Public Works representatives had the opportunity to attend the career fair today at the Fernley High School. It was a huge success. We were able to deliver a lot of information to the students about Public Works operations and available careers, so it was a good time. And that's all I have.
Mr. Salvador?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, council members, Salvador Pleites, city engineer. And a couple of things. Just got word that the new fire station has, we received the state approval for the water improvement plans over there. So we are good to go on that front. We also have issued the certificate of occupancy for Justice Court. So they are all settled and going there in their building. Fernley 5, Village 3, nearly completed. All the asphalt, curb and gutter, sidewalk is in place. So they're making good progress out there in construction. One important item that I had to bring up is the industrial park. We are out to bid at the moment, and we have our pre-bid meeting tomorrow. Bids are due on April 30th. So we're hoping that we get a lot of contractors interested. over $4 million, and most of it is RTC funding that will be funding that construction project. So we're hopeful contractors are going to come in with good prices and moving forward. That's all. Thanks.
Thank you. Ms. Rambo?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Michelle Rambo, Planning Director for the record. Our work on the South Area Plan has been moving along nicely. We have a draft plan, land use plan put together that we are going to show the public at an open house coming up on April 30th. It's at 6 o'clock at the CRRC, so that the people that attended the first meeting can come see how their comments were interpreted into the land use plan. So we're looking forward to that.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other department head updates? Mr. Song?
Yeah, Song Kim, Utility Director, City of Fernley for the record. We are in the process of upgrading our water and wastewater systems. Our RFP is about to go out to select the design firm for it. Our timeline is we want to finish our design for the water and wastewater system upgrade by the March 27, and then we hope we can start the construction January 2028 and hope to finish the whole construction by the end of 2030. This requires a lot of financing, and we are working on all available financing sources, including grant or loans or every possible ways of getting the finance to support this project. Thank you.
All right, seeing none, we'll start with Councilman Mendoza.
No report this evening.
Councilman Torres?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So just a quick update. Most of the folks that have been here in Fernley for a long time, I just want to mention that longtime deputy for the sheriff's office, Russ Cadwallader, died on April 1st. It publicly came out yesterday. He was my final FTO. For those of you who don't know law enforcement, it was my final 2 or 3 days before I was let go on the road by myself. And then I ended up being his lieutenant up here at Fernley when Lieutenant Lang left. Great guy, great personality, was really into his music, and he passed at, I believe, 78. So I just wanted to give him a tip of the hat. Thank you.
Councilwoman Zaberski?
I have nothing at this time. Thank you.
Councilman Hannan?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Just a few items. I was able to attend the Friends of the Fernley Animal Services meeting last week. For those of you who don't know, and I encourage you to go to Facebook, the Friends of the Fernley Animal Services is a nonprofit organization that's raising money to build a shelter, an animal shelter in Fernley. And so that meeting was very productive, and they're raising money as we speak. Early Learning Center had a groundbreaking yesterday. I was able to attend that with the mayor, and we're very excited about the opportunity to provide services, expanded services to families in Fernley. We look forward to that project. As the Chief Deputy mentioned, the Lyon County Search and Rescue, of which I'm a member, is having a bingo night this Saturday, 5 p.m. Doors open at 4. This is an event to raise money for life jackets during Memorial Day weekend. The Sheriff's Department Search and Rescue will be handing out life jackets. This has been a very strong push by that organization after there was a drowning of a small child in Lahontan. So their goal is no more drownings in Lahontan. So over Memorial, they will be providing free of charge and fitting young children with life jackets. That will be at the Mason Valley Boys and Girls Club on Saturday. And I want to mention mosquitoes. Some people have asked me about mosquitoes. As it warms up, I encourage folks to go to the City of Fernley website, cityofFernley.org, and go to the vector section. Stacy is our vector control person. And if you report to her, she'll make sure that she gets out and does some spraying. So we want to make sure we take care of those mosquitoes as soon as they're out. Thank you. One more thing. I want to thank Public Works for covering up some graffiti that was under the overpass along the railroad tracks, 95 alternate. Dalton and Barry were instrumental in getting that covered up right away. So thank you for doing that.
All right, thank you. I just wanted to say that this morning, Lyon County School District presented me with their challenge coin, which and they've only recognized about 20 people throughout the county with this coin, and I'm just really humbled and honored to have received this from Lyon County. I was on the school board for 14 years. Next, I want to talk about the Fernley High School hosted an outstanding community career fair, which I was at this morning, allowing students to meet and sample the numerous career opportunities available in our county. Providing such opportunities enable students to gain valuable information, become inspired about potential careers that are in our community. I want to thank Fernley High School for hosting this event and our Public Works Department for attending this as well. Also, I wanted to talk about the Mayor's Clean Sweep. I have moved the Mayor's Clean Sweep from May 2nd to May 30th because it was in conflict with the Chamber Golf Tournament, which I play in every year, so I moved it to May 30th. So sorry about any inconvenience that may have caused anybody, but if you'd like to help volunteer or any donations, please contact April Homie at 775-784-9858. And I hope you'll enjoy me there as we clean up the rodeo grounds and some of the parks. So thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, go ahead.
is that we're appointing a new senior advisory committee member? Is she here? It's in the consent agenda. I just wasn't sure if she came or not. Misty? Love? No? Okay. I was just curious if she was here.
Sorry, I do not believe she's here.
Thank you.
Okay. Now we'll move on to line item 4.1 discussion possible action related to the following. Councilman Torres requested pursuant to NRS 241.0365 discussion possible corrective action to adopt resolution 26-002 and discuss the competency, character, and or alleged misconduct by Councilman Lau, including the results of the independent investigation conducted by Sutton Law and Counseling, with possible action including but not limited to censure, removal of boards or committees, adoptions of resolutions, request for resignation, permanent expulsion from the city council under NRS 266.240. Public outbursts conduct resulting in a hostile work environment complaint received following the city council budget meeting held on April 3rd and 2025 and May 8th, 2025. The results of an independent external investigation that supported a hostile work environment by yourselves to other councilmen. Independent external investigation report conclusion. And this is resolution 26-002. Does council have any comments on this? If not, I'll entertain them. Or Councilman Lau, do you have any, or I should say, Mr. Lau, do you have any further comment you'd like to make at this time?
No, I have no further comment.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion. Councilman Mendoza.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
if I may, Rebecca Brew, panel counsel on behalf of the city of Fernley. I just wanted to make sure that Mr. Lau was fully and completely aware and acknowledges that he has received the notice of character, competence, and conduct, and that he is entitled to present whatever he wants to present today at this time. So
Yeah.
if I could ask him to acknowledge that he received this 241 notice and knows that this is his opportunity.
Mr. Lau, could you acknowledge that you received that? If you would you come up to the podium, please, and state it for the record so we can hear you?
Yes, I have received that, and all of the reports have gone from all of the other council members too.
Okay, thank you. Now,
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
yes, Councilman Mendoza.
I make the motion to adopt resolution number 26-002 to permanently remove Councilmember Stan Lau from City Council effective immediately pursuant to NRS 266.240.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Mendoza, seconded by Councilwoman Zaberski. If there's no further comment, Councilman Hannah, did you have a comment?
I do, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. Before we take a vote, I just want to say something. At the advice of legal counsel, I'm voting no on this item. I believe this process is being mishandled and opens the city to litigation and a lawsuit. While I do not condone the actions of Councilman Lau or any outbursts, I think this sets a dangerous precedent by which the panel up here can remove somebody against the will of the people. The folks that elected Councilman Lau have a right to a recall election and to start that process. That process has not been done. I just want to put that on the record. Thank you.
Okay, if no further comments, please vote. Motion carries 3-1. We'll now move on to line item 5, public hearing. 5.1, discussion possible action of a type 1 vacation request T1V25001 by M4 Victory Development LLC to abandon a portion of the public roadway known as Duffy Road, located of Nevada Pacific Parkway and south of Interstate 80 within the Mark IV Capital Victory Logistics District.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. Alex Lopez Martinez, Project Manager for the record. As the mayor read, I'm here to present line item 5.1, which is a type 1 vacation request made by the developer of M4 Victory Development LLC. And that is for a vacation of an existing road known as Duffy Road. And I have provided in a PowerPoint presentation that I will run through. So first we'll take a look at the road so we know which portion of Duffy Road we are discussing. So here on the vicinity map highlighted in yellow, and I'll point over here to the left screen. This yellow portion here is the portion of Duffy Road that the vacation is concerning. It is approximately 0.53 miles. This portion of Duffy Road was relinquished by the Nevada Department of Transportation through a cooperative transfer agreement that was approved by this body on July 29th, 2024. And that, actually, apologies, that agreement was recorded on July 29th, 2024. And then the portion of Duffy Road that will be supplemented will be this brand new road titled Innovation Drive. And that is this road highlighted in orange here. And that is approximately 1 mile of new paved road. That is approximately at the entrance or at the connection of Nevada Pacific Parkway is going to be a 6-lane road, and then eventually trims down to a 4-lane road. That road is currently, we have some construction plans currently in review. A couple requirements with that as well is a construction security bond that will be required before the abandonment takes place. And that bond has actually already been provided by the developer. And a couple of approvals that are required are from the Nevada Department of Transportation and the Nevada Division of Environmental Protection for sewer that is currently located within, that will be constructed within the roadway. And then lastly, I did want to highlight the portions of Duffy Road that will remain after construction. And those are these highlighted areas in red right here. The portion that I'm highlighting is underneath I-80, and that's the underpass, as well as this portion over here that's to the left or to the west of Nevada Pacific Parkway. Those portions will remain as Duffy Road. And then just again, a quick summary of all those three highlights. Public access. So Duffy Road, along with this vacation request, a temporary public access easement and maintenance agreement has been drafted. And with this agreement, the developer, Mark IV Capital, will assume all Duffy Road maintenance and liability responsibilities. Once this agreement has been, if approved, it shall be in effect until Innovation Drive, that new roadway, has been constructed and is accepted by the city of Fernley. Public vehicle access will continue to be provided for the general public who travel this portion of Duffy Road daily through this public access easement and maintenance agreement. And lastly, this agreement shall be finalized and recorded prior to construction commencing of demolition of Duffy Road or construction of Innovation Drive. Traffic control. So I did want to provide I wanted to highlight what traffic control will look like out there. This is a preliminary mock-up of what traffic control will be on Duffy once we begin demolition of the road. So we have two 11-foot drive lanes that will be retained during construction, and that is this portion here. We still have westbound access as well as eastbound access. Like I mentioned, 11-foot lane roads. And this portion right here is the highlighted work zone when we begin demolition of the eastbound portion of Duffy Road. And then when we shift over to demolition of the westbound access of Duffy Road, we will still retain 2 lanes of 11-foot vehicle traffic lanes on Duffy Road for both westbound and eastbound traffic. 11-foot lanes being the standard width for a travel lane. I did want to go back actually and highlight, we currently have 64 feet of existing pavement width out there, so we do have plenty of room to accommodate both travel lanes in either direction. And then when we head further east on Duffy Road, this is the traffic control plan that, again, is still in the preliminary stage, but is proposed out there. We will, for the underpass portion, or south of the underpass, we will be, again, jumping from either the west or the right side of the road to do demolition work. And we will provide proper signalization at both ends of Duffy Road. So right here, you can't really see it in this visual, but temporary signalization will be provided for travelers on the northern portion that is located within Churchill County, and then as well as those that are traveling within the Mark IV Victory Logistics portion of Duffy Road that's within the city of Fernley. And then I kind of sped through that, so my apologies. But I did want to mention that this action item was presented to Planning Commission on April 8th, and the Planning Commission unanimously voted 7-0, recommending this body approval of the Type 1 vacation. From that meeting, I did receive a couple questions that I wanted to present to this body with a couple of answers to. One of them being if the new road will be wider than the existing road, and that will be the case. Duffy Road currently is a 2-lane road, and Innovation Drive at the intersection of Nevada Pacific will be 6 lanes, as I mentioned, eventually narrowing down to 4 lanes. So definitely a wider road for more public access. And the other question was if this vacation allows for demolition of the existing roadway. In this case, because Duffy Road is constructed, this vacation would allow the developer to move forward with demolition of Duffy Road. And I just did want to confirm that this vacation is in accordance with the development agreement DA 22001, which was approved on April 3rd, 2024. And with that, I can answer any questions.
Does council have any questions? Councilwoman Zaberski?
I don't get to see you present all the time, so I'm grateful. I think you did a really great job on this too. For something that is like in my head, very straightforward. Okay, we're getting rid of this. We'll put the new road in. It'll be the same road. The graphics and everything help me. The pictures, I guess the aerial shots, because mostly we see more like engineering shots, and I feel like those maps are harder to read than the bird's eye view. So I really appreciate that. And bringing the questions from the Planning Commission, because I feel like as an advisory board, we don't really get as much input when agenda items come up. So I appreciate that you did that as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And this is a public hearing, so now if there's no other questions by council, I will move on to any public input at this time.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. John Duffy for the record. Regarding Duffy Road, I was at the Planning Council last week, and I have no issues with the plans as they are laid out regarding the movement of the road or the vacation of the road. What I would like to request of this council and of Mark for Capital is that an effort be put forward to have Duffy Road remain contiguous, and a portion, actually, if you could bring up the slide showing the portion of Innovation and Duffy Road, I'd appreciate it for the council. Next slide, please. Oh, there, next slide. A little hard to see. There was a larger one. Anyway, the portion there that is in red is to remain Duffy Road. The portion, upper portion there in yellow is to be removed and vacated. I'm fine with that. But that lower portion that is currently named in the plans, Innovation Drive, I would request that the city put forward a plan to rename that going forward to Duffy Road as well, so that Duffy Road remains contiguous on both the eastern and the western sides. Because if you'll look on the map here, the existing portion of Duffy Road on the left, that red zone there, is intended to remain. There was a comment last meeting at the Planning Council that having a discontinuous roadway might be of an issue for some of the emergency services. And I will also ask this council, as a former member of this city, and my family members going back in the city to the 1930s, and my father having been tribal judge, an outstanding citizen of this city, as well as my mother having been a school teacher here at Fernley Elementary, that we keep the continuity of Duffy Road intact. Barring any questions, that's all I have.
Okay, Councilman Mendoza, did you have a comment?
I did not. Sorry.
Guess we have no comment on that.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Is there any other public input? Anybody on Zoom? Yes. All right, if council doesn't have any other, oh, wait a minute.
Can I have
Councilman Mendoza.
a brief moment with legal before we make a motion,
Yes.
please? So can we do quick legal brief?
All right, we'll adjourn for a quick legal brief.
This question will be for Mark IV representative. If I were to make the motion today to approve your line item for this, would you guys accept it with the condition of keeping Duffy Road named continuously throughout that project?
It's interesting you bring that up because in the beginning, when we were working with NDOT and everyone else on this abandonment and this transfer, we were calling it New Duffy Road. And then Lyon County and the city at the time said, no, that has to be Innovation Way like we're showing on the rest of the map. We do see the importance of the local heritage of the community. And if it's your desire to have Duffy Road from Innovation to where Duffy turns underneath the freeway, you know, we have no problem with that. Where we had problem before was with the fire department, emergency services figuring out where to go. And when you have a road change name and it goes underneath and does all that. But if the fire department is fine with that, we could look at that section of Innovation as Duffy Road.
Yeah, well, I'm speaking on behalf of the council, and I don't know what the fire department thinks about it. But if Mark IV has no problems with us making the motion with the, what do we call it, Ms. Rambo? Condition of keeping Duffy Road continuous.
As it goes underneath.
As it
80.
goes and keeps it all the way from, so that we can maintain that heritage. That'd be something that we'd be willing to entertain tonight. Is that something that you can make a decision on now, or
Yes.
let us know?
Yes.
And you guys are okay with that?
Yeah, as long as you support us when we go to Lyon County.
Yes.
Because
I'll be there.
they're the ones that will bring this up again, probably.
Okay.
So
I'm ready to make a motion if there's no other.
thank you.
So if I say something before you make a
Oh, yeah.
motion.
Yeah, Councilman Hannan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to clarify, just so we're all on the same page, that Duffy Road will remain the same east of Nevada Pacific, and then we'll turn and go north under the underpass. From that turn, the rest of the road will remain Innovation Drive. Is that correct? Okay, I just want to clarify that so we're all on the same page.
Let's look at pictures. Can we put some pictures back up?
Yeah.
And if we could address the road that the gentleman was speaking of to make sure that we're doing it correctly.
So
Right there.
Are you asking about this portion, this whole?
I'm speaking about the intersection right there. So go to the right there. So that intersection will be the intersection of Duffy and Innovation, correct?
Mhm.
Because Duffy will turn left,
Go underneath.
going underneath the bridge.
Yeah.
Correct.
So it's basically gonna have a main road, and the other road that they're showing there, the one that has a little S in it, would be like a bypass.
And then Innovation will start at that intersection.
Yeah, my concern is that when you have a road that splits and Ys and it's the same name, you've got three different directions of road, and that gets confusing for emergency services and whoever else needs to look for an address. So I think it should be contiguous. It goes and makes the bend, goes under the freeway, and then from that little four-way stop or whatever that control is going to be, that Innovation Drive start at that point and go east, as to make it easier for navigation purposes.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be house addresses in that area. So I don't see it being too big of an issue. There's going to be a big power plant, and when there's a call at the power plant,
Right.
it's a pretty huge landmark.
At the end of Innovation is where Apple, I'm sorry, Microsoft property is, right?
Show you. See this. Microsoft property is
It's way to the east, yeah.
over here, over in that corner.
Yeah. Okay.
So Microsoft is further up.
It's more east, right?
Yes.
Yeah, all the way out. So
Yes.
my concern was that if they got a call of a fire on Duffy and they go down and that thing splits, nobody knows which way to go.
And if I remember in my memory, going back 2 years when we were having these discussions, that was the concern that Lyon County and the city brought up.
Right.
So,
That seems like it's a
but
situation. Yeah.
we could
Mr. Mayor?
sign it.
Mr. Mayor, I would recommend that any of this conversation about the name change be tabled for a different conversation because of the agenda item.
Okay, so if Councilman Mendoza makes a motion like he wants and it passes and we'll go forward. If not, we can table it till the next meeting till we can get it settled.
And if I can just clarify, Councilman Mendoza, your motion talked about it coming back to do a name change, correct?
My motion would be with the condition to approve it with the condition of keeping Duffy Road continuously as it was, as requested by the public. And so I don't see an issue with it. If we want to yell at, well, I guess we trying to keep it within the agenda item. So that would be my motion.
If that's the motion, I second.
We have a motion by Councilman Mendoza, seconded by Councilman Hannan. Please vote. Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you.
We'll now move on to line item 5.2, discussion possible action to approve resolution 26-007 and bill 381 associated with MPA 26001 and ZMA 26001 concurrent request from N4 Victory Power Q0ZB LLC for parcel 021-031-13 containing approximately 109.06 acres and generally located east of Interstate 80, west of Fernley Sink Lake, northeast of Duffy Road, and north of existing Victory Logistics Plan Development Adjustment. Adjusting the master plan use designated for GR General Rural to I Industrial and rezoning the property from GR 20 General Rural 20 acre minimum to I Industrial.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Michelle Rambo, Planning Director for the record. I'm covering this one for our senior planner who is out sick tonight. So as the mayor read, this is a master plan and a zoning change. For the Mark IV parcel located, the 109 acres located in northeast Fernley, way up at the tippy top of the border, abutting Interstate 80. The land use is currently general rural and the zoning is currently GR 20, which is a general rural, general rural with 20 acre minimum. Surrounding properties have a wide variety of other jurisdictions and ownerships and zoning patterns. I won't get into that in too much detail here. This is an aerial photo of the site. As I said, it's out on the northeast edge of town. Current land use and zoning maps show that it is currently land use on the left is the general rural, and then the zoning on the right shows RR5. It's rural residential. Zoning comparison here, just to kind of give you an idea of the differences in the requirements. Since this is not going to be it's not going to be a residential use anymore. Sorry. Some of the setbacks and stuff do change. All right, here's where we get into the meat of it. A comprehensive master plan amendment may be approved with all of the following findings can be made. So there's 3 of them. We'll go through individually here. Proposed master plan amendment would implement several comprehensive plan goals. So it would encourage and plan for new development in areas where public services and facilities can be provided. That one, they will be available once the rest of the infrastructure is put in from Mark IV for the other part of the plan development. They ensure existing and future land uses are compatible because it is an industrial next to industrial. And then new development be in accordance with the comprehensive master plan and other plans that are in effect. Second finding is that it be compatible with surrounding land uses. In this case, the industrial proposed land use and zoning does conform to the neighboring industrial plan development for the Victory Logistics. Public notice was provided as required via a legal ad in March, and a public hearing was held at the Planning Commission meeting earlier this month, where this item, not earlier this month, sorry, in March, in the wrong month, where they did unanimously recommend approval of both of these items. Zoning map amendment has some different but similar findings as the master plan amendment. So it does have the same compatibility with the land use goals and objectives. As you see in that table on the screen, that is the industrial table for the master plan, and it does show equivalent zoning category of I being compatible. Again, consistent with the surrounding land uses because it is adjacent to the existing plan development. And then again, public notice was provided via legal ad, and mailed notice was provided to surrounding property owners as required in the code and NRS. This is a public hearing tonight. And as I mentioned, the Planning Commission did recommend approval of this item. So I've provided you some approval language. And then if you choose to go the opposite direction, we've also provided you some direction or some language on that. And I can answer any questions. The applicant also has a presentation. So they may be able to answer some of your questions as well.
Councilwoman Zaborski.
Thank you for presenting that. I'll hold most of my questions for them, but could you go back to the maps, please? How far away is our wildlife management area from that parcel?
And exact numbers, I don't know. I think, we have to get back to you on that because I don't really know for sure.
Okay, I am semi-curious about that, and I'm pretty sure, doesn't the land out there get tested too? Doesn't NDEP come out and test? So like any kind of industrial development out there, is that gonna have some kind of impact on what our in-depth tests look like in our wildlife management area?
Any large industrial user is required by the state to have an industrial permit, and NDEP will go out and inspect and make sure everything complies. Okay.
And I guess I'm genuinely curious why so far away? And is all of that land in between, like, do you have a checkerboard or a map where we can see what the parcels are around it? Who owns that? Is it BLM and City of Fernley, and then we have a random industrial piece out there right below the mountain?
Ownership, Mark IV may be able to answer that better than me. We have just provided that it's, which ones are in the City of Fernley, which ones are in Churchill and Lyon County.
Okay, I'll wait and see if they have some of the answers. Thank you.
Any other questions from council? If not, this is a public hearing. Is there any public input at this time?
Good evening. For the record, Mayor and members of the council, for the record, my name is Dave Snellgrove. I'm planning manager with Bowman Consulting, here representing Mark IV Capital in this request tonight. Councilwoman Zaborski, I believe I have some graphics that'll help address some of your questions in terms of location. So I think this one will probably help highlight your last question the best. In the red is the property in question, the 109 acres. Directly south of us, adjacent to the south, is the Victory PD area. I worked on the handbook with Victory Logistics when that went through a few years ago. And at that time, the Sarasola family still owned this property. Victory did not hold it. If this property had been in Victory's holding at that time,
yeah, it would have definitely been in as part of the handbook and had that industrial designation. Pointing out, and there's another map that we'll have that's similar to what the planning director had on her map, but you can see the part of the grade-in area, the Victory Logistics, that jets out to the east. That's all directly adjacent to the Bureau of Reclamation land as well, as is this. On the eastern side of the property, in this map here, and it shows where the Bureau of Reclamation property is in that more vibrant colored green. So the location of this, as mentioned before, is directly north, adjacent to Victory Logistics. We're cut off by the freeway, is a very significant barrier over to the western side, and to the eastern side, you've got the open space area, the Bureau of Reclamation land that will not be bringing utilities or access or anything in. That is open space land. So the only natural tie to this property and where utilities and infrastructure and where it can get its access for all those things is really from the south, and that is in Victory Logistics. So here's a map that we just had prepared over the last week or so. Kind of shows the distance and proximity to along Highway 50. South of Highway 50, you've got the more suburban level residential, which goes down, to the Farm District Road area. And we're about 2.5, 3 miles. This printing was so small, I even had to blow it up on the computer to read what it was. So I think it's in 2.5 to 3 mile range. In the distance, the closest points are to existing residential to the south. The existing master plan, you can see that we're going from General Rural 20. That General Rural 20 came in because we did an annexation 3 or 4 months ago on this property. That was the natural transition coming over from the Lyon County zoning. We didn't have a master plan amendment or zone change request coupled with that. So it came over as a natural transition. You can't really say that if you go through Victory Logistics and all of a sudden you hit 5 20-acre parcels, that's really a good and compatible fit. The industrial designation on the property from a master plan standpoint makes perfect sense because of where the tie has to come from. As that map before that showed the blockage of the freeway, and then you've got obviously the open space and Bureau of Reclamation land over to the east. So on the right-hand side is the grade-in area, and that's tying in and matching what the closest zoning is to us that's actually developable and where access would come from. Similarly, on the zoning map, and because we have a PD zoning on the Victory Logistics, it's kind of that candy cane stripe color, but that is actually industrial in terms of the zoning. So the zoning designation fits and conforms with the PD zoning district in association with Victory Logistics. Michelle went through the legal findings. The legal findings for the master plan and for the zoning are very similar. She went through some of the policies that they felt were applicable. We had some additional in the application. We do feel that we can meet all of the legal findings in association with both these requests, and we would request that you follow the recommendation of the Planning Commission and the unanimous approval that came from, or the recommendation from staff and the unanimous approval that came from Planning Commission, and would approve the requests that we have before you. With that, I'll close my presentation, be available for any questions.
Councilwoman Zaberski.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
That was really helpful, as far as the maps go. It makes sense to have it all together for sure. I am curious, just as far as, like industrial mixing with residential, we see it in like Double Diamond area, like South Reno, where the industrial kind of mixes with some residential. I would feel like that triangle kind of farthest out from the industrial area would be a great place for workforce housing for the industrial area. So I'm just curious if that's something that you guys have thought about mixing in whatsoever or not at all.
We haven't considered that. We feel that this is an appropriate place for an industrial use that's compatible and beneficial to what's going on at Victory Logistics.
Okay.
And
that was more
Yeah.
of a curiosity question, if you plan on having any kind of workforce type housing in the industrial area.
I can address that, Councilwoman.
If
For the
you would
record,
state your
Scott-
name. There you go.
For Scott Barnes, Vice President Employment for Mark IV Capital. Our workforce housing and those components will be in the North Fernley plan that we'll be working on this spring. And so that is separate and separated by the freeway. We wouldn't want to mix workforce housing right there in an entire industrial development.
That makes sense. Just curious. Thank you.
Okay, if, any other public input at this time? Anybody on Zoom? All right, council, any other questions? Councilman Hannon, then Councilman Torres?
I'm prepared to make a motion. Based on the analysis presented to the staff, in the staff report, I move to approve resolution 26002 and bill number 381 associated with MPA 26001 and ZMA 26001, adjusting the master plan use designation for parcel 021-031-13 from general rural to industrial and zoning the property from general rural 20-acre minimum to industrial.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Councilman Hannon, seconded by Councilwoman Zaborski. Please vote. Motion carries 4-0. We'll now move on to our third public hearing, 5.3, discussion possible action regarding CA 25012 and bill number 377, a request from the planning department to amend the adjacent development standards contained in Title 32, Chapter 9, Section 30. Ms. Rambo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Michelle Rambo, Planning Director for the record. So we are going to talk about some adjacency standards, which I think we can all agree have kind of been difficult in the past. So the attempt here was to try and make it much easier to follow, easier to read, easier for developers to know what is required. So we went back, we started originally thinking we could just, make some quick edits, and then we ended up rewriting the whole thing. So it's been a bigger process than we thought. So why are the changes needed? I just kind of went over that. They're unclear, they lead to confusion. And even if even when they are applied correctly, the community is, frustrated and concerned that it's not sufficient. So we went around and did some research on other cities and jurisdictions to see how they handle their adjacency, and we kind of molded it into what you see today. So the first thing we did was kind of some reorganization. We divided things up to make them much clearer. We created new sections. We created a purpose and an applicability, so there's no question of what section applies to what. We added some definitions to help make things clearer. We updated some standards, and then we created some alternatives. So what we've done is that we have a base, let's call it a default adjacency requirement. If you are a new subdivision, single-family subdivision going in next to a rural residential existing area. So we've made it very clear that it applies to any subdivision abutting the GR or RR zoning districts. And the requirements are that you provide half-acre lots along the common boundary. And there's a few others I'll go over in a minute. And then, but we also added an alternative that you could do buffering. We'll get over into buffering in a minute. So what we also required along with this half-acre lots is that rear yard setback matching. So if the rear yard adjacent is 20 foot, then they have to provide 20 foot. Height matching, so that the buildings are comparable in height. We also have a 50% lot size matching for boundary lots, which means that if you have your property next door is 2 acres, then you can't be any smaller than 50% of that lot, which makes your requirement 1 acre. And then there's, again, the alternate, which we'll go over here right now. So we've created this, basically it's a and or situation. So it's not anymore a combination or a pick and, mix and match and pick which ones you want to do. It's either you do the default or you do the buffering. And the buffer has been increased from the original in the current code of 20 feet. We've increased it to 30 feet along the entire subdivision perimeter where it butts up against bigger property. It must include, we took out the may include, must include at least 2 improvements from that list. So a trail or drainage or landscaping, a wall, something in there. It also must be under common ownership for maintenance. So not being able to, we had a recent subdivision that included their buffer in the backyard as part of people's backyards. That would not be possible with this. This would be a separate area that would have to be maintained by either an HOA or a maintenance district or landscape maintenance association. Okay, so before we move on to the multifamily and other ones, is there any questions? Oh, I do want to mention Councilwoman Zaberski had a question last time on some language. That language that you asked about is correct. If you do the buffering, you do not need to do the lot matching. It's an either or is the way it's written. So if you have your 30-foot buffer, then you can do your single family lot, whatever the zoning allows for.
Councilwoman Zaberski, go ahead.
I think that I would really prefer for like the much larger lot sizes that the either or not really be a whole option. I would rather the adjacency standard be for, we'll say, rural residential 5 has to have lot size matching and not either or of adequate buffering or lot size matching. Because honestly, 30 feet, if you're gonna put 4 houses in the portion of my property, that's my whole, backyard adjacent to me, then the buffer is, I just don't see that being realistic. So I really feel like if we're gonna do the, could you go back to the half size lot?
Mm-hmm. Oops, right there.
Yeah, I feel like go one more slide over.
And one back. There we go.
Back. I feel like I would prefer this for the larger lots instead of it being an either or. I don't mind it being an either or, especially because you have the condition that there's 2 different types of buffering, but for the larger lot sizes, I think it should be adjacency standards, transitional lots of at least a half acre, the end.
Okay. Any other questions before we move on to multifamily and commercial? All right. So we didn't do a whole lot of changes to the multifamily and commercial adjacency, and this is just when they're adjacent to existing residential. So we did create an upper level setback of 10 feet for all portions of the building above 24 feet. It creates a little more space, makes, so it's not so blocked in for the house next door. Articulation and human scale elements are required along the facades. That's just basically make it pretty and make it look visually appealing. And the only update we did to the industrial was to add that purpose section that I mentioned earlier, just to make it clear what exactly it applied to. So we come to our findings.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Just me. I feel like I'm really going to be a pain with this item because the adjacency stuff has been like a thorn in my side since I started on the planning commission. So I really just want to make sure that this is to a T what we're picturing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I had to jump in because she was moving slides. Okay. I think that, I guess this has to do ownership and maintenance. It also has to do with the previous residential. I am a little bit, maybe I could just use some clarification as far as, the buffering areas and who's maintaining them, because we have it in the code that it's gonna be like an HOA or it's gonna be a landscape maintenance. But we don't have anything that says what happens when the HOA falls out or the landscape maintenance actually doesn't do their job, and then the city has to step in. We don't have any funding source for the city to go out and kill the weeds that people are paying for. I guess that I feel like as far as buffering zones go, there should be a little bit of a subsection that says you have to follow this, or if those maintenance. I have so many words that they're just not coming out the right way.
I know the feeling.
If we have a subdivision, it's built, it's a part of an LMA, and then something happens within the LMA, people are still paying fees, however, the maintenance company is not coming around. And then that obviously falls on to the city then people come to the city or code enforcement and say, hey, we have all of this dead stuff, it's a fire hazard, or the fire department has to deal with it. And then there's nothing like in our city or legally that we're like, hey, well, let us collect some of those fees that you're paying into the landscape and maintenance so that we can help you. And so the buffering areas, like you're saying, as far as the back, I would rather it be in someone's backyard that they're maintaining it than we have this, trail, or like up off of Sage, we have the equestrian trail. Nobody is taking their horses on that. For sure. It is like dangerous. It's just two parallel fences that border the whole community, and that was their buffering, And so I'm weary about the buffering. I feel like we should have an extra subsection that goes where responsibility is gonna fall, whether it be on the city or the homeowner or the developer.
Yes, I completely understand. And I actually had a conversation with the, excuse me, legal team regarding that, who would enforce. And the way it was explained to me is that if the landscape maintenance or the HOA dissolves, the responsibility goes back to the developer. And we would get them to comply through code enforcement.
Which they're gonna build it and
I
then
know.
take off to Florida.
I know. I get
Yeah.
it.
So I think that we do need a subsection as far as the buffering goes, so that developers are fully aware as well when they come in and they say, okay, well, we can do either or, but we got this buffering option, and then they build it and then they leave. And then we're still paying for it, and we're not actually funded for it.
Okay. Yeah, I completely understand. I wasn't too,
I'm sorry, Michelle.
No, go for
I have a lot. The multifamily, could you go back one slide? Where
Whoop, I'm going the wrong way. Sorry. There we go.
This one, multifamily and commercial adjacency standards. I had said something to Tristan too, just about like noise and mixed use development. I'm a fan of it. I'm a fan of mixed use, or having apartments upstairs and a bar downstairs or whatnot. I appreciate that kind of use, but as far as like adjacency or like buffering and stuff in between businesses, I feel like we have to have a subsection of that too, that has to do with noise, outdoor dining, music and events, just really clear operational rules so that the developer knows what that adjacency or what that separation should look like.
Okay.
And I know that some of this stuff is going to come out and be situational to the developments that are coming, but if we have a clearer development code, then maybe we don't have to do as much of that.
Yeah, I totally agree. We want it to be as simple and as easy to understand as possible.
The industrial one really, I was just more I was more concerned about like hazards or how the roadway is being constructed, as far as like turning radiuses for trucks and things like that, as far as like adjacency standards go, because And I'm confident that they know much more than me about constructing engineering industrial areas, but I
Yeah.
think that's the adjacency standards for industrial and stuff that could potentially have hazardous materials and stuff. We should definitely consult with the fire department with, just so that we know like evacuation plans or things like that. If we can model those into our adjacency standards, then maybe we'll make it easier in the long run.
Okay. We can look into that.
And kind of what the public comment was earlier as far as noise and odor. I know that we have some industrial in town that causes a little bit of a stink. So I don't know as far as adjacency goes. I think it said in the code it was like 20 feet or something like that away from, hang on, let me go back to it. I think it was something industrial development. It says buffering, a buffer with a minimum width of 20 feet is required by industrial development in any adjacent residential zoning district. The 20 feet is not a lot as far as noise or smell, or hazardous material or anything like that. So
Okay.
if we can communicate with someone who fully understands hazardous materials. I know that we have NDEP and they obviously have to get all their permitting as well, but I just want to make sure as a city that we're setting the right guidelines.
Okay.
Sorry. I think that's,
No, this is all great feedback. So what I think, I'm sorry, did you have any others?
no.
Okay. So what I'm thinking at this point, based on some of the information that Councilwoman Zaberski has given and maybe some of you others that we haven't gotten to yet, I think we probably need to go back, table this and go back and do some rework on it, which I don't have a problem doing. I want to make it right the first time.
I'm happy with that. If you want me to come sit down too, so that you don't get any kind of surprise questions the next time this comes
Sure.
back, I'm happy to come sit down and
Anytime, just,
word it.
yeah, pop in.
Councilman Torres.
Mr. Rambo, will you just kind of give just a brief update on the data center plans that we've been talking about as far as the data center development and the requirements as far as noise abatement, white elephant, if they were to shut down, just to kind of give everybody a heads up on what we've been talking about, please. Thank you.
Yes. And as far as adjacency goes, we are looking at some different information that we have on the data center specifically and how they impact their adjoining neighbors. One in particular being the noise, which is an obvious concern. There's a few different ways we can maybe go about it. There's, depending on who you read, differing levels of noise based on what the operation inside is. So if there's a smaller one they have smaller ones that are in shopping centers that nobody even knows is there. And then they have the bigger ones, like the big one we're expecting out there in Victory Logistics, which does generate more noise. So we are looking as part of the data center ordinance that we're working on, doing some mitigations for noise for the adjoining properties. Also, one of the things we're looking at, the white elephant, is that if the data center goes away and we're left with this big building, what happens? There's some ideas. There's some cities that require that they be demolished by the company before they leave. And there's some other things that we're looking at, but that's kind of the big one right now.
All right, if there's no other questions, we'll have public comment.
It is a public hearing, so we do need to do the public comment, but then you can just move to table it and give us a time to work on it.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to table this.
Gotta do the public
Councilman
comment.
Torres.
I make a motion to table this for further information and further discussion.
Second. Quick question.
Go ahead.
How much time do you think you would need and when do you expect this to come back?
You know, that's kind of an open-ended, don't really know. It might be a few months. So my suggestion would be just to table it until staff's ready to bring it back.
Copy. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Ms. Swanson.
item 5.4, it is agendized for introduction and first reading, and it is actually a second reading. So I suggest that we table this one until May 6th meeting.
So we need to table both
5.3.
5.3 and 5.4. Councilman Torres, would you like to amend your motion to table both those?
I'll make a motion to table 5.3 and 5.4.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Torres, second by Councilman Hannon. Please vote. Motion carries 4-0. Thank you. Public forum, line item 0.6. This portion of the meeting devoted to the public. If you wish to comment, you can do so in person at the meeting or raise your hand, feature Zoom, star 9 if you're participating via phone. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes. Please avoid repetition. Is there any public input at this time?
I hope I'm allowed more than one 3-minute section here. Dealing with the Nevada Pacific Parkway versus the establishment of the gas power plant. Councilman Torres weighed in on the simultaneity, how the sequence of events. It seemed to him that you could do one before the other. It seems like it's going to be a while before anybody reaches a decision on the sequence of the building of this bridge. You have to wait until 2028, 2029 before we know for sure. The second item has to do with the speaker system. It's been years since we've talked about the speaker system, and you've been plowing money into this thing every couple of years. I keep hoping for the best. Thank you, Council, Mayor.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, John Duffy for the record, and council members, I want to thank each of you for the consideration of my request. I look forward to future meetings where this might be determined. Thank you and good night.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, can I say something real quick? Oh, I thought he was going to leave.
Go ahead, Councilman Hannon.
I just want to say thanks for coming. That was super cool. I learned something tonight, and I think we're all in agreement. I don't speak for the other folks, but I think what you heard up here seems unilateral. It's kind of neat when somebody comes in and has lineage here and explains something to us that we don't normally get. So I want to thank you. I learned something new tonight. I like to learn something new every night. So that was something cool to learn. If you stick around, I'd love to talk to you after the meeting.
All right, I will stick around.
Thank you very much.
Just for the record, I appreciate your concerns, same concerns. That needs to be worked through for sure.
Thank you.
Don McGuinn, Fernley resident, council, mayor. Something that came up to me when I left the meeting earlier. The in-town park, skate park. There's some cement deterioration around some of the ramps. And I was wondering if the park's going to be looking into repairing that sometime, as I think that could lead to some kid having an accident. And then you might get some sue happy parent or something. rather than just chalk it off to, well, that's just a park accident, boo-boo, go on with it. But it does seem to be deteriorating quite a bit. So I'm just wondering if the parks might look into that at some point. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Jacobson, do you have anything to report from Lyon County? I'm sorry, I missed you back there. No? Okay. Is there anybody on Zoom? Ms. Swanson? No?
Mr. Mayor.
Oh, go ahead, Councilman Hannon.
I just want to say one other thing. There was a comment, the gentleman left. I was hoping we'd get him. Oh, no, he'd left. About the overpass. So 90% complete, I believe, was the report engineering in June. And our hope is that it goes to bid sometime the end of this year, right? The fourth quarter of this year is our hope. That's what we're planning on. It's not going to my understanding, go till 28. The process to build it will take 18 to 24 months-ish, somewhere in that neighborhood, but we're hoping that it goes to bid by the end of this year.
Lydia Altick, for the record, I think that may get pushed to 2027 because they want to start in the north at the interchange and work their way down to the bridge.
Thank you.
Okay, if there's no further comments, our next meeting is May 6th at 2 p.m., which will be a budget workshop. And following that, May 6th at 5 p.m. will be our next regular scheduled meeting. This meeting is adjourned.